The People's Convoy is going to be a transcontinental journey, 100% peaceful and law-abiding.
We're tired of being told what to do. I mean, people can be for or against the vaccine, it doesn't really matter, but it should be your choice, and that's why we're all here, is for freedom of choice. So,
unity and freedom and various other things all across this great country. Thank you.
We're going to Washington, D.C. to restore our Constitution in the United States, get rid of the Emergency Powers Act, and try to get things back on track.
You know, the last 2 years have been really, really rough. A lot of people have died from COVID, and many more have died from the policies that were put in place to handle COVID.
We have our children and grandchildren, and we want them to have an amazing future like we've had to grow up in, and we're going to take our country back.
The result has been an absolute economic crippling, not just of our great economy and of our great country, but of small and medium-sized businesses everywhere, and indeed of you and me and all of the workers, including the truckers themselves.
Thank you. Take the heavy water. Here we go.
Thank you.
After 2 long years, it is time we end these states of emergency and the abusive mandates they gave rise to.
We're so proud of the Canadians for taking the lead, and we're happy to be a part of it.
This is the truckers movement. This is America's movement. This is the People's Convoy.
Because I run away from the communists, I do not want America to become a communist country.
Multicultural, Democrat, Republican, vaccinated, unvaccinated, unified message of Americans stepping up saying it's been 2 years and it is time to open this darn economy with no more restrictions.
I escaped from Vietnam by boat. 7 days, 7 nights on the ocean without water, without food. I almost died. And I stayed in the refugee almost 16 years before I came here in America. What they are doing right now, exactly where I escaped from. That's why we need to fight.
There will be no messages of hate, sexism, racism, radicalism, or you're one status and I have a different status, and because we're not the same status, we can't talk to each other. There will be none of that. No messaging like that and no actions like that. You are also should be aware that this is going to be a 100% safe, peaceful, law-abiding, law-following journey.
The communists, they always accuse their opponent what they are doing of.
We are not going into the heart of downtown D.C., and every single person here knows why that is. Okay? We will not be anywhere near there, the Beltway or downtown D.C., not on March 1st during the State of the Union, and not probably after that, okay? We are not going to D.C., we are going toward that coast, but this is about the journey and the message and not so much the destination.
If we lose freedom here, there is no place to escape. This is the only last chance to stand.
And let freedom roll!
The eastern half of the United States, people are just going to start flooding into this thing. So it's good. We gotta take back our country. This is the way that we do it.
I'm here to speak truth and data and science, something we've been divorced from. We've been subject to policies that have no scientific basis. These policies are failing. The viruses have infected our bodies and taken some of our lives, but the policies have ruined our society. Our society is so sick right now, and you're all here trying to get us back on the right track, and so thank you for showing up.
With all this stuff going on, with everyone here, they're not going to co-opt this thing. They're not going to have another January 6th. We got enough, citizen journalists out there documenting this thing from the very beginning, from the first second. There's no narrative shifting that's going to happen. This thing's going to be a lot different, I think. So,
what are we going to do if we see a Confederate flag?
Ignore it and just go trucking right on by. Know that it's probably a Fed.
The world has gone mad. The world has lost their mind.
Yes.
And it's not their fault. It's the fault of two simple things which have overwhelmed our society and the globe, and those two things are propaganda and censorship.
Come on, just tell the truth. If you've got the better ideas, your ideas are gonna win.
The history books tell us what censorship and propaganda do, and it has been rampant. And it has infected our minds with mistruths and falsehoods and lies. And that's why I'm here to speak truth.
All the bad ideas that we have nationally, they all start up in Sacramento and they catch fire and spread. That's the real virus. Spreads all over our country.
By the way, the truth is coming out, right? There's only three things guaranteed to come out: the sun, the moon, and the truth.
I feel like it's my duty to do something for the country and not just sit at home and talk about it.
We need to stand up for truth. Listen, my colleagues, we figured out how to treat this disease. We put together protocols with safe, repurposed generic medicines. Little did we know that we stepped into a decades-long war of the pharmaceutical industry against generic repurposed drugs.
I want the country to get back on track. I want everybody to have a good time doing it. It doesn't have to be a bad situation or an ugly situation. I feel we need to come together as a country. Everybody needs to come together. And for Canada too. I mean, there's so much going on in the world. I see so much hate, and it really should just be about love and loving each other and embracing each other and understanding we're going in a bad direction. Everybody's being divided, and we don't want to be divided. We love each other.
And the truckers who are going to roll across this country, they have to leave their wage-earning jobs right now in a show of support. We need them. We need them.
This shouldn't be a left and right thing. This is a freedom thing. We're all Americans. We got the Constitution. We have the Declaration of Independence.
America is finally showing up. We need to turn this around. Take back our health. Take back our country.
You want to talk about the freedom fighters, for a pastor to stand up the way that he did and to activate his whole congregation the way that he did. Godspeed. I wouldn't be here doing what I'm doing today without that church.
All of you are my hero. I am so blessed by each and every one of you because you understand the celestial article of freedom. And you're here today to defend it. This is the greatest nation on the face of the earth. It's the least racist nation on the face of the earth. It's the place everybody wants to come, and we're going to preserve it. And these are our warriors, and we're grateful for each and every one of them. We're going to hold them in prayer. I wanted to share with you the final words that were passed out on December 24, 1776. It was copied and given to each of the Continental Forces. And by the way, when I think Continental Forces, I think of the transcontinental force of these truck drivers. And I wanted to remind you, Thomas Paine said, "These are the times that try men's souls. The summer soldier and the sunshine patriot will shrink in this season, but those who defend it now deserve the love and respect of all men and women." Tyranny like hell is not easily conquered, but the greater the struggle, the more glorious the victory. And each of these are going to take to Washington our voice. And they're putting their lives, their fortunes, and their sacred honor on the line. What they did to the truckers in Canada, they're going to try to do to them here in the United States, but we're not going to let that happen, because the first 3 words of the preamble of the Constitution declares who the sovereign is. We the people!
When they shut down the churches but left the strip clubs open, I was sitting in his church and he came in, he did a little dance and wore a tie for the first time in forever, took off the tie and said, I guess we can be open now.
Let's pray for them. Ready? Lord, we ask your covering and your blessing. The steps of a righteous man or woman are ordered by the Lord. In this celestial article, freedom is the right thing to do. Liberty is not man's idea, God, it's yours. 2 Corinthians 3:17 says, where the Spirit of the Lord is, there's liberty. You've come to set the captives free. And these men and women so brave. Because, Lord, in the absence of courage, truth is an orphan. And these men and women are courageous, and they've given us all hope. Lord, please, protect them and bless them. And may the eyes of this nation once again be open. May there be an awakening and a revival of liberty.
The thing that kills me is we've got all these first responders that were heroes a couple years ago, and now they're getting fired. Most of them already got COVID.
Yes,
right here. Yeah, these people are in fantastic shape. They're the people that we count on to take care of us, law enforcement, firefighters, EMTs, air traffic control, pilots, all these things, and we're gonna go after them. And truck drivers, truck drivers, who are they gonna give COVID to? You're alone most of the time, and yeah, you gotta stop. The government works for us, we don't work for the government. Yeah. We're all standing up, we're taking this thing back. Let's go.
Well, let me just first start off with saying thank you, Canada truckers, thank you, Canadian drivers, thank you, the Canadian people that stood up and inspired so many to follow in your lead. Thank you, Canada. We love you.
We all need to remind our government that we put them in power. They do not put us in power. We are the power. We are in control of them.
It's about my children. It's about my future grandchildren. It's about our families. It's about our country. It's about letting our government know that you work for us. People can try to paint this any way they want. They're going to say this is a far right or far left, or this is a partisan issue, but it's not. It's an American issue. It's a world issue. To the truck drivers around the world, now is your time to stand up. Now is your time to usher in a renaissance time of freedom.
Freedom! Freedom.
This is not a color thing. It is not a class thing. It is not a race thing. It is a freaking American thing, and we are saying it is time to let freedom roll, and the boys and girls in the trucks are going to spirit it.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now am found, was blind.